Both of these poems are about our feature poet tonight. I've read them here before, but since you've got the man himself, I felt I should read them. The first one is called Buddha Sheriff. It's just another day in the life of our main man. Oh, sure, there's time for assessment, time to figure out who to shoot and whether it's really worth it. Time to figure out where the next buck is coming from. Time to twist the dial on the airwaves until you find something the least bit in tune. A few of us remember the days when he was the Buddha sheriff of this town. He'd walk tall down the street carrying heavy moral lumber, and no one wanted to face the wrong side of his own. That, of course, was before the bugs took over. Or rather, before we noticed that they had. Like our man Darwin, he learned to adapt and to grow skilled and nimble when handling the short end of the stick. Now, the bugs envy him. They ask each other, how could he have survived with all that's happened? Surely, when we bugs have long expired, they say, he will remain walking tall once again and carrying heavy moral lumber.
Yeah.
About half the words in this poem are Peter's, and the other half are mine. It's called A Fistful of Karma. There is only one Buddha sheriff in this town, and although the days when he sprinted square-outs over the freshly cut grass and freshly dug gopher holes in Golden Gate Park are gone, he still walks tall, carrying his id in a lizard bag. The number 21 that he wore on his back says it all. He was, he is, and he always will be old enough to know better, old enough to truly see the size of the windmill against which he sets his lance, timeless, wise, and foolish enough not to care. When he speaks, there's always an echo. You can hear him through the pipes, the whistling steam that scours away the mistakes, those horrible mistakes of miscommunications, those awkward moments that cannot be undone. When love is handled and mishandled with the best of intentions, when the great of kindness arrives, and he knows that he is loved, when the great silence of confusion occurs, and he knows that it is no longer. The Buddha sheriff has his own history. It is only tangential that Buddha brother Corso chanted blessings in his house, that Buddha brother Ginsburg wished him love from his deathbed, that he was close enough to hear the moans overheard that night as two souls above him began the creation of the golden child. Buddha sheriff is a chant of his own. I hear it echoing through the monastery walls. I hear it resonating in the square and down the mountain. I hear it joining the resonance of the giant bell that is struck by a log on chains. Buddha sheriff, the child with clenched fist and bloody knuckles, riding wave of righteous anger over larger boy would-be oppressor, over larger boy with red flower split lip, blood running thin as water. Buddha sheriff is the flying 21, body stretched out parallel to the ground, executing the perfect square-out pattern, grasping the singing spiral in mid-flight. What hands, they cried, what hands! Soul-style slapping high fives, holding pens, striking keys unto eternity. What hands! Buddha sheriff, young man spending years among waiters and fry cooks who loved the world and revel in it, young man cooking regular pots of healthy soup and little loneliness stew. These are the sustenance of empty January when no love is to be found. These are the times when streams are cold and poets go fishing. Buddhist sheriff clutching an empty champagne bottle from an old Halloween window display and regretting the words that he told her. He brought anger to her warm silk bed where she pulled him down without speaking. The bells on his fool's cap jingled as anger merged with joys of yes, and the bells laughed at the fool who beat his head against fleshy walls again and again. Buddha sheriff, gone to 50, gone to 21, gone to 11, gone to 60. It is all the same. It is all the same. You will always have the hands. You will always have the heart. You will always have the red flower, split lip, bleeding like water into the emptiness of time.
All right.